Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, speaking to you today as a developmental psychologist, and honestly, just as someone who talks to parents all day, I know exactly what's keeping you up at night. We are standing on the edge of this massive technological shift, right? And our main job is figuring out how on earth we prepare our kids for a future totally driven by AI. I know it feels overwhelming, but today we're going to break the whole thing down into a super practical, totally actionable guide. We're not going to panic. Instead, we're getting strategic.
Let's just go ahead and tackle the elephant in the room, the rapid evolution of artificial intelligence. You look at these incredible language models and image generators, and it is completely natural to wonder, wait, what does this actually mean for the job market? Like, will the career you're encouraging your kid to pursue even be around in 10 years? We all share this underlying fear that robots are just coming for everything and our kids are going to be left behind. But look, when we dive into the data and expert analysis, you'll see that fear is largely misplaced. We just have to shift our focus.
To do that, I want to share a totally paradigm-shifting quote from parenting expert Bethany Braun-Silva. This quote instantly reframes our core mission as parents. She points out that the kids who will ultimately thrive in an AI world aren't necessarily going to be the ones who are the most tech-savvy. No, they're the ones who are the most adaptable. We literally need to stop obsessing over exactly what specific jobs will exist and start thinking entirely about the core human skills that will matter most. So, to keep things simple, here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We're looking at 4 key areas: the AI job market reality, essential future-proof career skills, using AI as a tool, and everyday habits building resilience.
All right, Section 1, the AI job market reality. Let's look at where humans actually excel.
We're going to hit those job market fears head on. Yes, the market is fundamentally transforming, and sure, the jobs of today might look totally different in a decade. But guys, that absolutely does not mean humans are obsolete. Far from it. It's actually really reassuring because when we analyze the trends, the most resilient careers of the future fall cleanly into 3 distinct buckets. So instead of stressing over a million fragmented career paths, we can just categorize future-proof work by the inherent human traits needed to do it.
And what's super interesting here is that deep empathy, hands-on physical skills, and creative adaptability are going to be your child's biggest professional assets. First up, human-centered jobs. Think nurses, coaches, social workers. AI simply cannot replicate genuine human empathy and care, right? Next up are the trades, which honestly get overlooked way too often. Careers like electricians, plumbers, and mechanics require incredibly complex physical problem-solving in unpredictable environments. Robots are nowhere near mastering that. And finally, hybrid creative tech jobs. These are the brand builders, the writers, the marketers who actually use AI alongside their innate human creativity to get a massive competitive edge. Okay, moving right along to Part 2, essential future-proof career skills. Now that we've moved away from the what of future jobs, we really need to focus on the how. Specifically, how our kids need to think. As a developmental psychologist, I promise you, this is where the real groundwork is laid. Forget rote memorization. We have to bust the myth that kids need these hyper-specific programming skills. The reality, communication and critical thinking are way, way more valuable. I see parents rushing to enroll their kids in highly specific coding boot camps all the time, but those specific programming languages, they're going to be obsolete in a flash. You know what never goes out of style? The ability to communicate an idea clearly, to critically analyze a problem, and to actually collaborate with other human beings. That is what sets a child apart.
And building on that, we really need to wrap our heads around the absolute ultimate future-proof skill, teaching our kids how to learn new things over and over again. It's a continuous cycle. You learn something new, you adapt to it, and then, here's the kicker, you have to be totally prepared to drop it and learn the next new thing the second the technology shifts. This continuous cycle of adaptation is the actual engine of future career success. It really isn't about what you know right now. It's about how quickly you can master what you need to know tomorrow.
Which leads us perfectly into Part 3, using AI as a tool and definitely not a crutch.
Look, your kids are probably already using AI, so our goal here isn't to ban it. Prohibition doesn't work. Our goal is intentional, healthy interaction so we can avoid this massive trap called mental laziness. AI is incredibly fast. It's efficient, but if we let it do all the heavy lifting of thinking, it comes at a huge developmental cost. When a child struggles through a tough math problem or wrestles with structuring an essay, they are literally forging neurological pathways in their brain. If AI just spits out the answer, poof, those vital skills are never built. Plus, AI can, and absolutely does, make mistakes. blindly trusting it without any critical oversight is a really dangerous habit to get into.
So, what do? We implement a literal healthy AI workflow to make sure our kids use it for studying, not as a shortcut. Step 1, they have to try problem solving on their own first. Let them wrestle with that blank page. Step 2, bring AI in but as a collaborator. Let's say they're writing a history essay. They can ask the AI to brainstorm counter-arguments they might have missed or help edit a clunky paragraph. And step 3, which is non-negotiable, they must rigorously fact-check the AI's output. Doing this keeps them firmly in the driver's seat of their own education. To make this stick, I want to give you a really memorable rule of thumb to anchor your tech rules at home. Your creative ideas first, AI second. Seriously, keep this phrase alive in your household. It empowers your child, and it puts the technology in its proper place, as a subordinate tool. And while you're guiding them, you've got to constantly remind them to fact-check. These AI models are notoriously prone to generating misinformation and weird errors, which just proves that critical thinking is more important now than literally ever before.
All right, let's move to our final section, Part 4, Everyday Habits Building Resilience. We are going to bring this all home with some totally counterintuitive, everyday parenting advice that you can start using in your living room right now. You do not need a fancy tech curriculum to future-proof your kid. You just need to shift your daily habits to foster resilience and independence. Now, you might be wondering, okay, exactly how many times do I need to optimize every single moment of my kid's day or referee every single sibling conflict? The answer is 0. I know modern parenting puts this immense pressure on us to fill every second with enriching activities and to immediately swoop in and fix every dispute. But developmentally speaking, stepping back is literally one of the most powerful things you can do.
We really need to actively reframe boredom and peer disagreements. These aren't bad things. They are absolutely vital developmental opportunities that breed creative and critical thinking. Think about it. When a kid is bored, their brain is literally forced to invent, to imagine, to self-soothe. That is the exact birthplace of creativity. And similarly, when they're arguing with a sibling, as long as everyone is physically safe, of course, stepping back forces them to practice negotiation, compromise, and communication. Those are the exact critical soft skills we just talked about being highly sought after in the future job market.
Practicing these highly practical life skills at home directly builds the resilience, confidence, and initiative that translates into lifelong employability. Create an environment where you celebrate mistakes, and even more importantly, celebrate the recovery from those mistakes. Alongside that, teach them practical everyday things. Teach them budgeting, teach them cooking. Go grab a broken toaster, take it apart, and try to fix it together. And hey, if you end up with extra parts and have to buy a new one anyway, who cares? These hands-on analog activities build this profound sense of self-efficacy. It's this deep-seated belief that they can tackle complex, messy, real-world problems.
And this brings us to our ultimate takeaway. The kids who will absolutely thrive are the ones who can think creatively entirely offline. Because, let's face it, the tech will inevitably fail. The server's going to go down, the algorithm will change, the prompt just won't give the right result. When that happens, the professional who panics is the one entirely dependent on the tool. But the professional who thrives, that's the one who says, all right, whatever, let's grab a whiteboard and pivot. That kind of adaptability is firmly rooted in the resilience you build at home.
So, I want to end with a bit of a provocative challenge for you. Are you ready to step back, allow a little boredom, and actually embrace your child's mistakes today? Because letting them struggle, letting them resolve their own conflicts, and letting them figure out how to learn and adapt on their own terms, those are the essential stepping stones to an adaptable, future-proof mindset. Give them the gift of resilience, and I promise you, they won't just survive the AI revolution, they're going to lead it. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope you leave today feeling empowered and ready to put these tools into action.